Welcome back to FM21 Redemption, where we've taken over Toulouse, who've been relegated from France's Ligue 1, and we start in the second tier, but the pressure is already on. The media have installed us as favourites for the title. Does that mean that we've held on to all of our best players? No, it really doesn't. Does that mean that we've bolstered the squad with a raft of great French under-23 signings? I'm not sure it means that either. We are no stranger to the sack on this channel, and it is definitely a possibility in this new series. But today, we're going to show you the transfer business that we have done, as well as play our first game of the season. So all through our time with Tromsdalen, there was never really any news to bring you about the transfers that we'd made, but we're doing things a little bit differently at Toulouse. The transfer market is open to us, but we're not without a philosophy. I've tried to keep all of my signings domestic and under the age of 23 so that we can try and storm the league with a team of hungry, young French players who've got a point to prove at this level. Let's start by showing you some of the players that have gone out, because there are quite a number. What I didn't really legislate for taking over as Toulouse boss was how many of our players would have relegation release clauses. That caught me out, and a number of clubs have swooped in and activated those release clauses for some of the players who were pretty fine players. Some players already had free transfer moves arranged for them before I took over. That wasn't a great loss. Some of the other players that have gone out maybe might have featured. This was Charles Abbey. He had a relegation release clause in his contract. It was activated. He went and joined Le Havre. Our goalkeeper went and joined Almeria in Spain. We also lost a player called Diego Boza, a 30-year-old Spanish striker. He has gone and joined Guangdong in Ligue 1. And we also lost a player who may well have been playing for us in defence, Ange Nguessan. Not the greatest jumping reach. We at least got good money for him, but it meant that our squad was very, very thin. So we've done some work trying to bolster it. We stuck with our philosophy of French under-23 players. How good the quality is that we've bought in is variable, I think. Having lost Yari Lati, who was going to be the first choice goalie at the club, we've gone out and signed two goalkeepers. The first of those was Jan Otto, who we've bought in on a free transfer when his contract expired at PSG. He's only 19 years old. If we could get him to develop, you never know, he might emerge into a Ligue 1 quality goalkeeper. But I wasn't convinced, and I want to be strong at this level. The board want us to get promoted. I don't think they're going to accept us finishing mid-table or even missing out on the playoffs. So I've tried to strengthen as much as I can. So I've bought in a loan signing as a goalkeeper as well. As well as bringing in Otto from PSG, we've bought in Bruno Nicola, who I think is a pretty good goalkeeper. The media Dream 11 have him as the best goalkeeper in the league. He's valued at £20 million. We're paying a fair old chunk of his wages to bring him in, but he has got great agility. He's good in one-on-one situations. He's going to be able to command his box quite well. His communication's good for organising the defence. He's 21 years old. I think we did a good bit of business with him. We've also had two players that came in on contracts that I didn't negotiate. They were already in place before I took over. The first of those is a French left-back called Ronan Souli. He is perhaps not ideal when I want to play these more advanced wing-backs. He's not fully comfortable playing there. And his crossing and dribbling are not the best, but he was already bought in. He's quite highly valued. We're going to keep him around the club, probably more as a backup option. And then in midfield, the board had already bought in David Labate, who is listed as an Italian midfielder. Interestingly, he actually came through at Dover. One of the better talents I'd imagine will have come through there in recent years. He looks pretty good. His personality's okay. Not the best tackler or the bravest midfielder you would see, but going forward, he's got quite a bit of flair. He can bring the ball out of midfield, so he will be involved for us as well. But given that Souli wasn't the ideal option at left back, I've been out and signed a player on loan who I think will be more of our first choice left back. Now, this guy, granted, is not great defensively. His tackling's only 10. The marking and positioning are pretty weak, but he's very quick. The dribbling is there. He can cross a ball. Some of his other mental attributes are pretty good. I'm hoping that he's going to be a real attacking threat as a left wing back, as part of a back five for us in that defence. Other than that, we've struggled to bring in players of the quality that we would have liked to improve the squad. In fact, I don't think we've improved the squad really. I think we've just bolstered the numbers by replacing these outgoing players a little bit. This player, I think, is a case in point. This is Ili Reinu, who we've bought in at just over £1 million. 19, he's French. He's valued at less than we've paid for him. He's going to be very, very good in the air. He can play in midfield, but I think he's going to be more used to us as part of a back three. And playing three central defenders, I needed some backup in that position. I dare say Reino might not be one of the starting three. We've had a little bit more luck bringing in a player to play on the right-hand side of our front three, however. Maciek Karvot is a Pole who's been raised in France and has come through at PSG's academy, and I think he could be a tasty little prospect. He's already been out and played a little bit of top-flight football on loan, but he's going to be incredibly quick, great agility, great dribbling. He can be a conventional right winger. We could also ask him to be an inverted winger, cutting in as well. I think he is a good signing, but perhaps not the best one that we've made. Maybe that's going to be Nicholas in goal, or maybe it's going to be a player that we've bought in permanently. Nice allowed us to sign Salah Al-Blouchi, who is a French 19-year-old striker who I think could be a real danger at this level. He's 6'5". He is, of course, good in the air. He's got good target man attributes like his bravery, but he's got a lot of other attributes that I think make him quite versatile. His teamwork and his work rate mean that he could well be a decent pressing forward. His finishing and his composure mean that he has got some pretty good attributes as a striker. The passing and the vision are probably not too bad either. He could be a deep lying forward for us. So Salah Al-Blouchi is going to be the player that we're going to be asking to try and lead the line for us today. We should probably show you where some of our other players have been during pre-season and have a little look at the lineup that we're thinking about for today's game. So here's our squad for the season opener. I'll be honest with you though, it is stretched a little bit thin and two of our players have not even taken part in pre-season because they've been off with the French under-19 squad. They only arrived back a couple of days ago. One of them is going to go straight into the team. This is Lansana Bar. He is a 19-year-old who's valued at £4.9 million. He has had clubs chasing him during the summer, although a lot of that interest seems to have dissipated now, and I'm hopeful that we might be able to tie him down to an even longer contract on one that does not have one of these dreaded active relegation release clauses that means that some of our young players could depart for values that I think are a little bit below what we might be able to achieve for them in the future. Our other player who's been off with the French under-19s, who won the under-19 European Championships in the summer, is Gafaru Mensah. However, he arrived back in no condition to play for today's game. We've sent him on a week's holiday. He would have been suspended for today's game anyway, so we've taken the chance to give him a week's rest, but neither of those players played a single pre-season game for us. We've got some of our players that we signed during the summer going straight into the starting lineup. Nicola is going to start between the sticks for us today. We've also got Gioria, who's going to be starting as our left wing back, and we're going to be starting Al-Blouchi and Karvot up front in our front three today. In the midfield, we're going to have a player who is incredibly unhappy and does not want to be here. This is Infamara Ba, another young French Senegalese talent, and we have been fielding offers all through pre-season from him. Inter keep coming back with pretty meagre offers, if I'm honest. Benfica from Portugal have also been interested. He's another player that has one of these active relegation release clauses. Fortunately, the bids have come nowhere near those levels at the moment, but he does not want to be here. He is sulking every time we turn down one of the bids from the big European clubs, but he's too good a talent not to be involved. So we're going to be playing him as our ball-winning midfielder today, and I'm hoping that maybe once the transfer window closes, he might be able to wrap his head around the prospect of staying at the club. So this is the lineup that we're thinking about today, but we need to talk about the strength of squad that we've got. We could do with more numbers, but I have scouted the French market quite extensively during pre-season. I've sent scouts out all across the country looking for young, talented players. They've not come back with great options, if I'm honest. Certainly not options that I think are as good as some of the players that we've been losing. And a lot of people have been saying down in the comments section, we would love you to return to Trompsdalen and try and buy back some of the players that you were bringing through there and carry on developing them at Toulouse. Now, I think at the moment that might be a tough ask. We've got £2.8 million in the kitty, although the club has got £25 million in its bank account. I had a look at some of the players like Skog van Pedersen, Larsen Pleem, even had a look at players like Grachev. The prices that their agents are speculating that they would go for, we're not quite in a market to be able to pay at the moment. But our transfer window is not closed. If big bids do come in for players, such as Infirmari BA, if he was to go for the £13 million that is his relegation release clause, well, that would give us a transfer war chest. And the question is this: do you think that we should be going back and bringing through some of our Norwegian talent and trying to move them over to play in the French second division? I mean, they might not even be interested. They, of course, have got other clubs that are chasing them. But if the opportunity arises, would you like to see some of those players come over to play for Toulouse? What we're going to do is we're going to drop a little poll in the community tab down below. Have your vote about whether you'd like us to continue with the philosophy of French under-23 players only, or would you like us to add to that philosophy the option to buy Trompsdalen youth players that we've developed if that possibility arises? Feel free to let me know down in the comments section why you've gone with the option that you have. It's always great to get a little bit of feedback about how people feel the save might develop. Okay, we're kicking off the Ligue 2 season with a home game. We are up against Niort. The stands are not exactly packed for this one, are they? But we are hoping to treat the home fans to a performance that shows them that last season's disappointment are a distant memory. And inside the opening 30 seconds, Al Belushi goes close with an effort that stung the keeper's palms. Hopefully, we can put in the performance that the fans are expecting of us today. Harmony in the squad, to be honest, is not great. We've had big bids for lots of our young French players, as Carvot has a little effort now, but none of them were even close to matching their release clauses. However, with our older squad members, clubs were more than happy to come in and pay the relegation release clauses for those players. So we've lost a lot of the experience, and a lot of the younger players, well, they're still with us, but they're not very happy that their dreams of joining one of Europe's elite clubs have been dashed by us. Hopefully, as I say, once that transfer window shuts, things might settle down a little bit. If we could get off to a good start as well, win 4 or 5 of our first 6 games, then that might go some way to helping calm the mutiny that's in the squad. With 5 minutes on the clock, that is not a bad way to announce yourself as Toulouse's new star striker. Al Belushi has got onto a through ball. It's Carvot, the young winger on loan from PSG, that's fed him, and he's a good finisher. He's got all of the attributes you'd want for a target man, for a deep lying forward, but he's a good striker of the ball as well. I'm hopeful that he could get the goals that might fire us back into the top flight. We're coming forward again. It's Bar, who's been at the under-19 European Championships with the French squad. He played in the final, he got an assist in the final. His confidence is high, but another player who doesn't want to sign a new contract has got a relegation release clause, and if a big club comes for him, he is going to be looking to leave. He's had a little effort there, though. He's ostensibly a striker, but we're going to try and retrain him as an inside forward on the left, doing exactly that, trying to get strikes in on goal. We've got another corner that's gone in, and I'm going to brand the first 15 minutes of this pretty successful. We've had 5 shots on target already, plenty of highlights. Hopefully I've left enough men back to deal with breaks. And there's BA, who's doing this ball-winning midfielder role. He is the most unhappy camper that we have, by the way. I guess if you've just been relegated down to League 2 and you have the chance to join Inter and your coach rejects the bid, well, you're going to be a little bit grumpy about it, but he could be a key player for us this season. Carvat's got a ball in. There's Bar. We've got our on-loan wing-back Gioria there. He's pacey. He's not great defensively, so we're looking for him to impress going forward. He slung a ball into the box there, but it came to nothing. We're now halfway through this first period. Niort are yet to register a shot, although 1 goal leads are fragile, as we found out in Tromsdal, and so a second before half-time would be nice. Here's our left wing-back again. He's thumped a ball over. Not found anybody, and now we're getting broken on. We've won the ball back. This is our other central midfielder, Salim Chan, who wants to play a little bit further forward. We've got him playing as part of a 2 alongside BA. He's the box-to-box midfielder. Going to take a little bit of training to be able to fill that role. But he looks pretty good. A bit of a Rolls Royce of a midfielder. Great passing, great creativity. As somebody who could also play as a striker, he's got an eye for goal as well during pre-season. We're into the highlights again. We've got just over 10 minutes to the half. We've been fairly dominant in this first half, but we need a second goal, I feel. Here's Bar. He's got the ball out to Gioria. Can he sling in a decent cross? He can't, but he's won a penalty, and our mate Al Belushi should be on them, booking for their player. This could be the second goal we're looking for. This 6'5" target man come deep line forward. Got high hopes for him. And he smashes home the penalty. It's 2-0. That settles the nerves. This is a good start to the new campaign. Where's he gone? He's gone. Oh, he sent the keeper the wrong way. Fired it into the opposite corner. And we are doing a good job so far. Still no shots at all. Even off target for our opponents. We've got an XG approaching 1.5. That is a decent first half of football. We're still trying to build our relationship with the boys. They're not really responding to our team talks yet. We're going to go in there, give them a positive word, and we'll see you for the second period. So we are back underway. I think that first period was even more impressive when you think we've probably got 3 of our first choice players either injured, suspended or off on holiday at the moment, so we can strengthen this squad further. And this has been a pretty solid display. During pre-season, by the way, we only conceded 1 goal, and we played some pretty decent outfits in pre-season, including 2 teams from the division above us. We drew 0-0 with one, we beat the other one 2-0, and this new formation is looking pretty solid defensively. Going forward, it wasn't always firing in pre-season. This afternoon's not been bad, has it? And this is a guy, by the way, who didn't play a single scrap of minutes for us in pre-season. He's been away with the French under-19s, and this is what we've been missing, because he's a striker that we're trying to move to this inside forward role, and look at that for a finish. Okay, back underway, and we've rotated both of our wingers. In place of Bar, we've brought on another young inside forward, a right footer on the left called Roussel. And we've brought Tony Vincent on as well. Apologies, Anthony Vincent for you purists. To play over on the right. Carvot has been carrying a knock for the last week. So has Tony Vincent as well. He's been out for about the last 2 or 3 weeks of pre-season. But we're going to give him some minutes today, try and build up his fitness as we look to try and steal a fourth. Here is Tony Vincent. He's got his fullback outside him. He's found him. This is Dubois. And Albelushi looks a threat every time the ball comes into the box. We can't even get through a full minute here without racing in to another highlight. We're only on key highlights, by the way. I think that shows just how well we're playing. Here's Tony Vincent. He's dug one out. Oh, Bruce Sellers only been on the pitch 2 minutes. He's managed to hit the post. The goal at his mercy. And we seem to have just seen out the game now. A 3-0 win on the opening day of the season. I'm going to say that that is a success. A clean sheet would be great, although our young defender Llama has hacked a player down on the edge of the box. And deep into stoppage time, they're going to have a good effort at goal. Llama has also been sent off for that, which is not ideal. That leaves us with a little bit of work to do defensively in that last 60 seconds. Are they going to be able to steal our clean sheet from us with this free kick? It's right on the edge. And they have indeed. That is a shame because we only conceded once during pre-season. And now we've conceded again. I'm not sure we're blaming the keeper for that. It was quite a close effort. We don't get a replay of it. We're back into the highlights. And I think this should be the end of the game. I think we've played some pretty nice football, though. I think Albelushi's look pretty good up front. I like the way the wide players have played. That goal from Bat as he drifted in off the left wing and volleyed one home. Well, that was an absolute treat. And I'm going to say that's a pretty decent all-round performance. They've had 3 shots, 2 on target. The goal came from that free kick. Our XG looks like we were pretty worthy of the 3 goals that we scored. I'm going to say that I'm happy. And our time in France is underway. Now, granted, a 3-0 win against Niort is not enough to constitute redemption, but it is a start at least. We're going to go away, play a few more of our league games. By the time we come back, we'll be able to see how our first season in Toulouse is shaping up.